Probably many of you have been waiting for the MacBook Pro 16-inch, and I did too, because I thought maybe I'd change the system from Windows over there. And then it took months and months, and all these rumors are out there. And then I checked the capabilities of, let's say, a 4,500, 4,800 euro or over $5,000 MacBook Pro, the late one, which is out on the market right now, and compare it to something Windows 10. And then I found what I need is a frame, a notebook that's capable that I can open it without losing the guarantee, and putting in as much RAM as possible, probably 64 gigabytes. You might think it's crazy, but it's not really crazy. And I can extend it with an SSD, probably M2 SSD by Samsung, and might extend it with an HD, SATA HD terabyte for mass storage, like for my libraries, Hollywood Orchestra, Hollywood Choirs, Native Instruments Complete, Ultimate, and all this stuff that spoils your SSD, which is expensive and might not really need this speed in the backing. So I found this here. I'm going to show you. I compared a lot of these notebooks out there, and probably Dell might be capable of opening it, but I don't think. I think you're gonna lose the guarantee right there. This is an XMG. XMG in Germany it's Schenker XMG. I don't know if you get it out there, but it's this typical notebook. And what has it got that Apple has not got? It's got USB SD card slot. On the back it's got 3 monitors, HDMI, and it's got a USB-C port, and it's got Ethernet here and another USB port. It's got an NVIDIA 1660 Ti graphics card, which is quite good for 4K videos. I'm going to do 4K video with that also. It's not my audio workstation alone. And it's got an IPS panel. For that money I also bought a RAM extension, and I bought a 4K monitor here and all this stuff, and even this camera, it's GoPro 7. So yeah, you have a lot of money left. You normally have to invest when you've got this MacBook Pro, so keep in mind you need these libraries and a lot of money in the back to really use it. So in the end I found myself with this notebook, which is an Intel Core i7 9750, which I found is quite a little bit better than the i9 right now for a notebook, because it's getting very hot. And the i9, I compared a little bit, also the benchmarks, it didn't make that much sense to me. Maybe you have different opinions, I don't know, but I can take it also with an i9 if I want to. So it's a very nice notebook, and now I'm going to show you how I pimped it. So this is the idea. Buy a notebook in the basic configuration, and then open it, extend it, and configure it, and you have, for let's say 1,700, 1,800 euro, I have what I've got with Apple for 4,800. Well, Apple is quite good. I got this iWatch 5, I got the iPhone, I got the iPad, which is really great for doing things, but for professional audio work and video cutting and so on, well, more audio work. Video is quite good on the iPad Pro. It seems to be too expensive to me. Sorry, it's too expensive. It's very good. I like the iOS or the OS on the Mac, but it's too expensive, and after 20, 30, 40 years with Windows, I know how it works. So I've chosen this, and maybe it's a good hint for you. Make up your mind. Where do you want to invest? In the end, it's working, and it's working really brilliantly, and have this extendability. I even can throw in a bigger SSD for quite what you can't do with Apple. You know how it goes. So let's have a look how it works. So here we go. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to release this here. It depends on your notebook, and then you have a fine view on the interior. I'll just put this somewhere. Beware that you don't lose these little screws here. So what have we got? Normally this comes along with this XPG SSD, and I put in a 970 EVO M2 by Samsung. It's quite nice. Tests say it's nice. And for that you have to unscrew this here and just push it in and screw it back again. This is the first thing I did. After that, I booted the notebook, and the BIOS just recognized it, but Windows doesn't recognize. I'll show you later on how you address it and make a own partition and all these things. So you won't see it in Windows immediately. Originally, there was a 16 gigabyte RAM in here, Vengeance. It's DDR4 2060 666, and it's dual channel. And I got this 32 gigabyte RAM. It fits this DDR4 specifications of the Vengeance. Well, this is a different brand, but it works. The only thing that you have to know, normally dual channel, both if you add one and there's one empty, both have to have the same size, like two sizes times 16 gigs, times 32. But I shot this 32. What does it do then? It works. 16 and 32, they can be mixed in dual channel. But then you only can address 16 on each channel as dual channel, which makes an advantage of about 5 up to 10%. I measured it. Let's say it's 10%, and the rest will be like a single channel. So I think it's not a big problem. So now I've got 32 dual channel and an additional 16 as a backup if I get into higher RAM usage, which normally doesn't happen. The idea can be to put in 64. Later on I might buy, if you use Adobe Creative Suite, for example, After Effects use quite a lot, and together with multitasking, if you have Pro Tools running or something, it might make sense. Well, what have we got left? This here, and this is an SATA, and I'm gonna look for it to screw one in here and have a look how I can configure it. Let's have a look. Well, this one is only for mass storage, so I used a Seagate 2 terabytes. It's only 5,400, and you only have to look if it's 7 millimeters in this case. So check before if you do something in your notebook, and it's 2.5 inch. So I'm gonna unscrew this and then mount this. Seems to be quite easy. Let's have a look. So here we go. This is the HD, and this is the slot where I should put it in, and you see that it only fits this way. So this, not this way up, as you might think, this way up, and then it fits right in, and I'm gonna fix it now and screw this up again. And then next step. So the hard disk is in, everything is in place, screws in, and I will not close it because I just turn it around and make a booting and have a look in the BIOS if it realizes that there's no new HD, and then I go into Windows and let's have a look. As soon as this splash screen comes, you have to wait. Just wait, even if you change RAM. Don't give up. Maybe it's 30 seconds or even a minute. Sometimes you think it hangs itself up, but it doesn't. So it boots, but in Windows you only see C and D. D is my SSD, it's the M2 by Samsung. So where's my hard disk? What have I got to do now to get into it? That's easy. So I go into the disk management tool, in German it's Datenträgerverwaltung, strange word, and have a look, is it there? Up there is the new hard disk, and it said it's unknown, but it's 2 terabytes, so obviously I have to do something here. What do I do? I'll have to initialize it. After the Windows appears, it asks me, and it's this number 0, 0 is this one. Just say OK, and then let's have a look. All right, here we go. So this is done, and then I click into this area here. It asks me if I want to have a new volume. It's a new single volume, and I say okay, go on, and this is it. After that it asked me which should it be. C, D is already there, so I say, well, this is E, and I say okay. So here we are, it's formatting. And then this Windows appears, and I got volume E, and this is the place now where I will put all my
libraries like Hollywood Orchestra, Hollywood Choir, and alone this is 1 terabyte. So this is 2 terabytes and Native Instruments Complete. And so you might need that for putting all your libraries and loops onto such a hard disk. And the other two, the SSDs, are used for the programs and for the booting and for Windows. Well, that's it. So everything is set. I've got a notebook now with 1.5 terabyte SSDs, two running as a RAID system, RAID system. I have an SATA with 2 terabytes for my libraries. This notebook's got an Intel Core 9750, which is quite nice for a notebook. I didn't take the Core i9 because it gets too hot in such a system, and it's not such a big difference. And I've got 48 gigabytes RAM. So let's go. In the next video, I'm going to show you which software I put on here that it makes sense.